Good morning, students. Now, in this part of force and laws of motion, we will discuss Newton's first law of motion and inertia. Hope the concept of Galileo's observation is clear to you. And now we will study the Newton's first law of motion. For this, consider a block. It remains at rest unless and until it is acted upon by certain external force. Similarly, if a ball rolls, it will continue to roll unless and until we apply the external force. But in real life situations, if we hit a ball, it will roll, but it will stop after some times, isn't it? Why it stops? Why not it following the Newton's first law? The reason is the frictional force. When we have discussed the Galileo's interpretation, then we have taken the inclined planes where frictional force was not there. It was completely frictionless surface. So it is a frictional force that makes the ball stop. Otherwise, if it is not there, then the ball will roll down forever. So, an object at rest will remain at rest unless it is acted upon by unbalanced force. And the object in motion will continue with constant speed and direction unless and until it is acted upon by unbalanced force. Now, Newton's first law of motion. What was that? That means everybody remains in the state of rest or in the state of its uniform motion in the straight line until and unless external unbalanced force acts on it. Means object will remain there where it is unless and until we apply certain unbalanced external force. Book lying on a table will remain unless we apply certain force to change its place. This law is also known as law of inertia. Inertia is the tendency of body to remain in its state. We will discuss it in further. So, first law of motion gives us the definition of force and inertia as well. So, what is this inertia? It is defined as property of the body to remain in the state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line. Means where the body is, it will remain there unless there is certain unbalanced forces there. Isn't it? It is the first law of motion itself. That is why we are saying Newton's first law of motion explains the inertia. In other words, the ability of the body to resist any kind of change in its state is called inertia. And inertia is of three types. Inertia of rest means the body at rest will remain at rest and it cannot start by moving by its own. And inertia of motion means due to this the body remains in the state of motion and it cannot stop. And inertia of direction means a body cannot change its direction of motion of its own. We will understand these terms by using some examples. Now, inertia and mass. What is the meaning of this? Let's discuss. See this picture carefully. One bucket is empty and other bucket has sand in it. So it's more difficult to push this bucket full of sand, isn't it? It has more inertia. More is the mass, more will be the inertia, more will be the tendency of body to remain in its state. Now let us revise inertia. It is the inherent property, inbuilt property, due to which it resists a change in the state of rest or uniform motion. It can be understood in parts with inertia of rest, inertia of motion or inertia of direction also. And we have seen that mass is the measure of inertia of the body. Heavier the object, more inertia it will have. And example, a stone of size of football means one football and one stone of same size as that of football. The stone will have more inertia than football. Isn't it? If we kick the stone Rather than football, your foot may get injured due to the inertia of the stone. High force is needed to move it, and it will injure your foot also. A cricket ball has more inertia than the rubber ball of same size.